Hi, good morning. It's November 3rd, 2019. We're going to do another one of these macro profiles. We're going to start right out with the yearly chart. These are yearly bars spaced in time for quarterly bars in between. Just gives a bigger picture macro view of the market. We can see the secular bull markets and bear markets. This is obviously the one of the largest expansions in cycles we've seen. Um, and Here we are at 3060, 3066. So right here. Um, the bigger picture, shows this potentially moving up to 4100, 4200 into, you know, um, 2030. We're not going to worry about that right now. Obviously, there's going to be plenty of pullbacks along the way that will make it appear to be the end of the world, just like this one, and just like this one, and just like that one, and in the overall context of everything, um, they really didn't end up doing a whole lot to the macro trend. At the time, certainly felt uh, pretty bad. But anyway, with that said, this chart's indicated 32. Call it 3,300 to 3,400 up into this time frame, which is around 22. So, if you wanted to take a bigger picture forecast and you want to sit through some pullbacks and so on and so forth, the macro view and the macro trend is higher. So let's drop this down for a little more granularity and texture. This is the yearly bars with the quarterly bars in between. So these are quarterly bars, and you can see once again, other than the small disruptions here that we saw in early 2018 and again at the end of 2018, you can see that the macro trend is intact. This is a big consolidation. We're coming out of that now. And again, 3288 in 3440 is your target on those particular projections. If we look longer term out on this one, again, this does project up to 4,300 over time, but once again, that's really secular, big picture stuff, and we want to stick to kind of at least the next couple of years here. Quarterly, these are just quarterly bars. Takes the chart down even further. Again, and what we see here is that 3,300, 3,400 area, and you can see we're breaking out. Now, these breakouts, other than this one here, and of course this one, um, are relatively shallow, and I wouldn't be surprised at 3140 to see some sort of a pullback. So we'll address that a little bit more here in the next chart, which is the monthly. So here's the monthly. Sorry for the lines there. I didn't get rid of those. Here we are making a new high, and again, those projections are in there. This is that 3144 level that I've talked about. That could be a natural projection for this particular trend that we're seeing right now. Here's the weekly. A little more granularity on the short term. I kind of thought we would pull back one more time and make 3 highs and then break through on a rule of 4 breakout. But I guess what the market's seeing is 1, 2, 3, 3 tops here, and now we're breaking out on the 4th attempt higher. And again, here's a 30.44. So I could see us moving up here for a few weeks to 30.44, chase the shorts, get everybody engaged back in the trend, and then you get a pullback into here, and then another push higher, and a pullback into here, and another push higher. I mean, you kind of get the gist of the trend and what we're looking at. I don't think anything is going to be a straight shot higher under most circumstances. And then we can even take one more look down here and a closer look at the weekly. You can see the green timing signals here, which are positive. That means that the cycles are aligned for a move up, and the next level up is really 3140. I mean, there'll be some other daily projections, but from a macro perspective, you don't really run into anything until you're at like 3140. So I've talked about that for, a couple of years now, and obviously it's taken some time. There's been some bumps and bruises along the way, and then so here we are. So look for 3140, probably into mid to late November. And then from there, certainly you could consolidate and pull back against the trend. You're certainly going to maintain your macro trend, but um, at that point, you are vulnerable to another pullback like we've seen here and here and here and again and again. So that's the macro view. I'll talk to you this week.